Welcome, right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P-Funk. Thinking, right? Little coffee joy is going down. I'm going to have my mask on last lesson, but I done took it off. I'm going bareback, so to speak. I'm letting it ride. Let's go. I am who I am. This is what it look like. It's all in the content. Don't look at the face. Listen to the voice. Okay. Don't look at my face. Right thinkers. Right is 25 with the talk, live by. Storytelling. Story with a message, a story for life. I'm excited about this next lesson coming up for you. Some good stuff. So, lessons for life. I give life lessons. Y'all tuning in, receiving them. The numbers are saying somebody's interested in the lesson I'm giving, so keep giving it to you. Appreciate you too. Let's do what we do. Right Thinker's mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right Thinker's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers do just that through the lessons that I give. And like I say from Malcolm, by any means necessary. Right now, I'm deep in the book. Why? Because there's some good stuff here, and I'm rather than me write it all out. No, I'm gonna take it from the book and give it to you straight, pure. Let's go. So, question: do you know you? My goal is to get you to know the answer for yourself to that question. If not, stay tuned. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. Know thyself. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's what I do. I do every day for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got you. A person who knows not and believes that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows, but knows not that they know is asleep spiritually. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons, they reside in you. I think with know thyself. And to my app, be true. We're going to piggyback on part two about God, my favorite thing, giving God knowledge, trying to get you to understand how to get to God for yourself, not to believe in Him, a whole bunch of superstitious mumbo jumbo about how good and great He is. No, you need to know for yourself. When you know Him, you'll know all that for yourself. So we ain't going to go through that. Everybody has a testimony, okay? We finished up with how understanding that when man don't understand God, your misunderstanding of God, being ignorant, you think life is just interaction between people, pain, pleasure, struggles of life and death, etc. No, the main idea of the all is that it is inconceivable, it is beyond thoughts, while at the same time it is all encompassing and transcendent. You have to realize that God is all conscious, all everything. We say that, but to understand it, put it in some kind of perspective and make it make sense. Don't just say, well, God is everything, which He is, but got to have perspective. All right, let's go. Now, it is transcendent of being or non-being, and even transcendent of being what? Beyond the pairs of opposite. That's duality and no opposites. One, the transcendent self, watch this, is exactly that, transcendent. Therefore, words, ideas, similes, sacred scriptures, etc., which are grounded in what? Images of time and space, will always be what? Deficient in what? Describing that which is transcendent of them. Excuse me. Why? Somehow the mind must go where? Beyond the normal thought concepts, processes it is used to in order. You have to go past your normal, ordinary thought concept process in order to what? To realize the true meaning of the scriptures. You can read them till you get blue in the face. Do you understand what they mean and can you put it to use? Can you manifest what the scripture is saying? If this is not done or can't be done, the mind what becomes stuck or stupid as they would say, stuck in what? The mental world of what? Time and space, aka the loop, causation. And there is no breakthrough to the source of consciousness. I mean, you're not getting smarter. If you keep doing the same thing over and over, you're not getting better. That's not, you can't progress doing the same thing. This is why they tell you to do the same thing, expect a different result is insane. Even when speaking of God, I do that a lot, as being male, but the spirit and creation as being the female. They go together. The aspect, which is what enlivened by who? God, the spirit. There is still dualism inherent throughout the idea. In the end, we must what? Break through the duality. Here you go. Break through the duality to understand that in reality there is one male and female. Watch this. Except in our mental thoughts. In essence, creation is one substance, and that substance is not separate from God. Understand that. I keep saying, religious people, the Roman Catholics, they took God out of man and put him somewhere else and have you chasing a dream. Excuse me. Except realizing everything you're looking for is right in here, not up there. So that was the game they played with you with the book they gave you. We are, watch this, indeed one with all of that underlying essence. They don't say that. Ancient Egyptians try to drive that point home. That's why I'm trying to give it to you now. We talk about God and you being one, how you can recognize that and know that for yourself. To know this intellectually is the first step toward what? Realizing in actuality. You have to be thinking. You have to understand. This realization, which goes beyond rationality and non-rationality, is what? The ultimate project of spiritual enlightenment, aka yoga. Yoga is to get you to God mentally, not to be stretching by now. No, this is mental yoga. It's communing with your higher self, aka God. There's a way to do that. They practice that. And now watch this. Enlightenment is what? Is the term. Here we go. I use spiritual enlightenment for a reason. Enlightenment is a term used to what? Describe the highest level of spiritual awakening. Most people elementary, they got little bits, they think they got something. No, you got to get more information. Mason, you know, third degree, you ain't a master. So elementary school, high school, you ain't got mastery at 12 years of college or 12 years of school. You still got to go to a few more years to what? Mastery. So there's some things you got to learn in life. Same thing with spiritual awakening. It means attaining such a level of spiritual awareness, aka studying, learning the truth, that one what discovers the underlying unity of the entire universe. Luke, use the force. The force is with you, as well as the fact that the source of all creation is what? The same source from which the innermost self within every human being heart arises. We're all God in spirit. We just ain't conscious of it, a lot of us. So this is what I'm trying to show you. When you become conscious of who you are, you'll know God. And you don't have to worry about believing in him. You know you are him. Okay? So let's go through. This one's called the practice, which leads to non-dual awareness, meaning God. I'm trying to get you the best way I could to understand. I'm driving it home, so get ready. I'm coming again. I'm not stopping. We've had no white here. Okay? How is it possible to realize the great truth of the non-dual reality, which underlies the premise of duality in all creation? When you see me do this, that's representing Mayat, which what God stands on, which is what everything after him is. Pairs, opposites, duality. But you have to realize before there was dual, meaning two, there was the one. That's God. That's non-dual. Okay, awareness, knowing God and separate from everything else. Nope. You become understanding of there is one singular, and you are part of that. That's the conscious you have to become. Okay. Now watch this. This is the goal of all my spiritual right thinkers, disciplines of yoga. Watch this. You have to study because yoga and the mystical religious philosophies is the thing that you need to have understanding of so you will know God from a mental aspect so you can manifest what you was taught, spiritual truth, and put them to use in your day-to-day life. This is why they gave you the commandments. Live by the 10 commandments, you should be serving God and you should be fine. 42 confessions in my yacht. I mastered them. I'm fine. I don't need whatever. Well, I got my own. Whatever you got that works for you. That's right thinking philosophy. I ain't telling you got to be Christian, Muslim. No, just spiritually enlightened. Know thyself. That's my teaching. The most important part of the process of yoga is what? Is to experience, watch this, an expansion of consciousness. And what do that mean? Whatever belief, whatever faith that you had in that superior being, that God, once you come conscious of it, it's part of you. You are one with it. You don't have to believe it no more. Now you know it. You're conscious of your higher self. Moving from being an individual ego, ignorant of your higher self, aware only of your what? Limited self. I, me. You by yourself is nothing. This is what an acronym for ego is. You edge God out. When you're on your own, you can't really do nothing. Watch this. Where we at? The limited mind self to becoming what? When you move from an individual thinking process, ego, and you are aware only of your limited self, the I, the me, to becoming aware of all encompassing essence which you are, a right thinker. When you do that, watch this, the universal self, you find out you and God are one. And this is to be accomplished how? By listening, reflecting, meditating upon what? The teachings of right thinking philosophy, aka his yoga style, and mystical spirituality. I teach hidden messages. I give you the real deal that you can manifest and live for yourself. No esoteric teachings. Why? That's the surface teaching. That's a waste of time for me. I want to give you the real deal. So through this book and those related to it, you have been learning about what the teachings as you go through your normal day-to-day activities. You should try to reflect on these and discover that your personal experience confirms your spiritual knowledge. You have to experience God. You have to recognize God for yourself. A preacher can't get you to God. I can't get you to God. Your actions and deeds will get you to God. And those who do that know that. When you have time, you should sit down and practice what? Formal meditation upon what? Your teachings. If you go to school and just learn, you just learn. You just become a parrot. You just regurgitate what they told you and what you read and just spit it out. If you don't spend time to do your shidi, which is study profoundly, put in your time, get the intricate understanding, and manifest it for yourself. Now you become a what? Master of yourself. When this process begins to work for you, it will have a big effect on what? Your consciousness. You becoming wiser, you becoming smarter, you becoming knowledgeable of yourself. Watch this. And your ego, here we go. When your ego will begin to what? Shrink, subside, and the non-dual essence within you will emerge. Hello, I'm here. Ego, you know the deal. Yeah, get back in the bus. When I need you, I'll call you. That's what your ego should be on call. Whenever you need his assistance to do what he do, which is aggressive, going, ain't gonna stop. You use that to your advantage. Don't let it be your calling card. Okay. We will draw upon many scriptures and from what the world traditions to show what the influence of ancient Egyptian non-dual God concept understanding and the practice of what your non-dual thinking, understanding in world religions of the present. You see, I don't rag, I just bring it to your attention. Watch this. I got some good stuff here. We will also introduce what? The concept of continuous meditation on the divine by what? Discovering the non-dual witnessing consciousness who is the innermost reality of your heart. I usually wear my eye. The eyes in the brain, it's in there too, pineal gland. But the constant witness is the heart ever stop. If your heart stop beating, it's a wrap. That's your constant witness. That's where God resides. Quick lesson. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. This is called wisdom in action. I just did a lesson, good intention. Intention don't mean jack without what? Action. Wisdom don't mean jack without action also. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's get this in right quick. I got a few minutes. I'm gonna press you up a little bit, put my good information. But again, I hate watch the clock. I want the message to get out. So I got a nice full page of information here. See how quick I can get through it. Now, wisdom in action. Right thinkers, without action, wisdom is useless. Like prayer without works. Same thing. Everything has to be followed up with action. WRIGHT. Okay. When you activate, when you are active, and not practicing or experiencing the wisdom of yoga, I don't know what you're doing, but you are distracted from what? The real you. This distraction, which comes from what? Your egoistic desires, cravings, and endless motion of thoughts in the mind of the mind is what? The veil which blocks your perception of your deeper essence, your higher self, which is your ego is in the way. That's what they're telling you. It's the blocker. It's the veil of ignorance that blocks you from knowing yourself. Watch this. That's some deep. Now here, the self. These distractions keep you what? Involved with what? The mind, the senses, and the body that you have come to believe is the real you. You got the five senses that deal in the physical world. I went that lesson before, so moving on. When your body, okay, yeah. When your body is motionless and you are thinking and feeling, you are mostly associated with what? The mind. I'll tell you about the mind, that wet dream. Everybody had one of the mind control the body. Okay. Now, at times when you are not thinking, I don't know when the time is for me, but I'm going with what it's saying. The times you're not thinking, such as in the dreamless state. You're not thinking, you're on cruise control pretty much. Your subconscious is taking over, but the thought process is still working. Then you are what? Associated with what? Your higher self. The ego self, when you're aware, will block your higher self if you don't put it in check. That's the whole key to knowing thyself. If a lot of people don't even know their ego runs them. But how do they got an ego? Most women, I ain't got ego. That's the man thing. No, ego is when you want what you want, how when you want it. That's ego. Okay. But watch this. However, this connection in the dreamless state is veiled by the ignorance. Why? The ignorance, okay, because what? You are asleep. You're not aware of it. And not aware of the experience. We can go to sleep in some dreams. I'm a lucid dreamer. But sometimes we can dream and remember that dream like it was real. Because in your mind it was. And it was so vivid that you even remembered it. A lot of dreams come and go like that. No, but some of them be so vivid. I dreamed about so-and-so. It was so real in my mind. That's what you have to understand. Your mind got a lot of stuff going on. And you are in control. My man said the mind is the most extravagant piece of machinery known to man. And it don't come with instructions. So that's a good analogy. But watch this. But during this time when you're asleep in dream state, you do, however, experience profound. During this time, you do, however, experience. There you go. Okay. Profound what? Peace and rest when we go to sleep. If the dream world is not agitated or your subconscious is putting you in a state where nightmares because of whatever day you had and it runs rampant. So, but if you are at peace when you go to sleep, you sleep and rest well. This is possible. Why? Because you are turning away from what? Your ego personality. You raise your conscious level, your individual self, and you are going into the realm of the inner, aka higher self. In essence, you are moving closer to that which is universal and turning away from that which is limited, which is the self, the ego self, me, I. All the ego knows is that. That's it. It don't know higher self. It don't know God. One thing. So if it's running the show, you got God ain't even in the mix. Why? He don't know God. Okay. It don't have a concept. Okay. That's why it's limited. The concept of God makes you unlimited. Okay, now in order to discover this realm, you must consciously turn away from the phenomenal world. Stop caring about having this, having that. Okay, the world of your ego, watch this. The world of your ego and its problems, concerns, worries, and anxieties, which is distracting you from what? Your inner reality. The practice of yoga accomplishes this task. Why? You let all your troubles go away. You think, you put yourself in another state of mind, and you resolve all the nonsense. That's what they're saying. You raise your consciousness. Down here is heavy. You got all the problems and worry about this, worry about the bill, worry about that, all the nonsense. Raise your conscious level. Okay, get better. Meditation, watch this. When backed up by what? Practice of the yoga philosophy, meaning the action behind it, is the most powerful agent of what? Self-discovery. That's how I did it. I tell my pastor when I went to church, I'm not coming here to find God. I'm coming here to worship and fellowship with God, like-minded people. Why? Because I found God. And I didn't use the church. I didn't use the Bible. So I don't have a big affinity for which I do religiously. Why? I use knowledge and wisdom. The practice of meditation allows you to develop a higher awareness, which will affect all aspects of your personal life. But most importantly, it gives you the aspect, the right thing, the experiential knowledge of your true self. I want you to have your own experience, your own but God moment. So now, nobody can tell you about God. You know God. So all you can do is now share, and give testimony. Why? Of what you know. That's what testimony is. Tell us something you know, testify. Let me wrap this up. I see the clock is ticking. Now, let's do this right quick. The distraction of the soul in the world or human experiences lead to mental impressions, which are based on external realities, the physical world, and on ignorance of the truth. You don't know yourself. So the highest self, highest soul reality. You don't know nothing about that. The ego have no clue about that. These impressions lead the mind to experience what? Desires, thoughts, and aspirations, which lead a human being to what? Experience more of his personal desires and more distractions. Desires born of ignorance. If you are desirous from your ignorant, your ego aspect, watch this. It cannot desires from excuse me, desires born of ignorance cannot be satisfied through the mind and the senses. Why? Because these are limited and the experiences are fleeting. No matter how long they last during a person's life, they are only transient, expressed experiences and never wholly fulfilling. Since the desires of the mind, they are the senses based on what? Ignorance can never be fulfilled. So whatever you want out of desire, ignorance, you're never going to get it. Why? Because as soon as you get it, you're going to want more. It ain't going to be enough. You never feel that greed. That's why. So you never fulfill. The soul, watch this. Now the soul is led to experience repeated situations, aka reincarnation, of what? Frustration, mental agitation, mental unrest, and further away from what? Your inner peace of the self within. The more problems you have, the further away you get from your higher self. Why? Because you're dragging yourself down. It gets heavy. That's why Judgment Day, they weigh the heart. Everything you do stays here. If you purify your heart by living good, righteous, virtuous lifestyle, your heart be light as a feather. That's the concept. But if you're ignorant, your heart is heavy as all get up. Trust me, because you're carrying baggage that you don't even know. Let's move on. Now, the individual soul of every human being, here we go, watch this, is in reality seeking to discover the wholeness and peace of its true nature. Hotep, supreme peace, blissed out. Okay, where we at? Supreme peace in the true nature. Watch this. The universal soul within. That's what you're in search of. However, because of the ego, the ignorant searches to what? Fulfill what? Their desires of the mind. And that leads it to what? Countless situations in the realm of human experiences, which in turn leads to more experiences in what? An endless cycle, remember the Ouroboros, which continues even after death and causes the soul to what? Return to human form when again and again in a futile effort to what? Satisfy the egoistic desires based on ignorance. These teachings of the cycles of birth and death, which the individual soul experiences, are known as what? The doctrines of my girl, karma, and reincarnation. That's in this lesson. I got some reincarnation information for you too, and karma, my favorite girl. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Thank you.